Bobby Lee, Carlos Mencia. This happened a year ago. Bobby Lee had Carlos on his show. You remember Carlos Mencia got his balls busted by Rogan 15 years ago. That was, by the way, 15 years ago the Rogan-Mencia thing happened. You feel old? So Rogan kind of exposed Carlos Mencia for stealing jokes. And he did. Clear as day. There's at least a Bill Cosby joke that he's done word for word. There's a George Lopez bit that he's done, but he changed the words around a little bit, but it's still essentially the same bit. And he's had many openers and things like that accuse him of stealing from him. So now, Lemmy says, I wasn't trying to prove you wrong. I was just trying to make you feel better. Well, here, Lemmy, go to Twitch Tracker, look up those channels, and then you can see what I saw. How's that? Can I get on with the show, please? Thank you. So Bobby Lee had Carlos on 15 years later to talk about all this Rogan stuff. And if you want to go watch the full episode, there's like a 28-minute clip from a guy called Sucka Free Media on YouTube. He did a 28-minute clip of the Carlos Mencia, Bobby Lee showdown thing about the joke stealing. Quick summary of it, and I just got to check this out today because I've been doing so much of the Brendan Schaub stuff. So Bobby Lee and Kalila's stuff has been popping up on my YouTube homepage. Carlos Mencia, this entire time, refuses to apologize for stealing jokes, basically saying he doesn't think he stole jokes. I don't know if the man's become so delusional that he believes it now, or if this is just something he has to tell himself, because when you have a window to admit you were wrong, and you have a window to apologize, and you blow past that window, and now you realize, oh shit, if I don't dig in and die on this hill, I lose all of my credibility. I might lose all my credibility anyway, but especially if I now back down after I refused to back down before, I'm going to look like a super shithead. So Carlos Mencia is in this unenviable position where he can't back down, but he also is full of shit if he keeps with the story he's been going on. So Bobby Lee has him on. They start talking about the stealing jokes. And I swear to God, Carlos Mencia gave the strangest, the oddest, the most confusing, and quite frankly, the most disconcerting response to accusations of joke thievery I've ever heard. Some people like to speak in metaphors, and I just like to respond with this. Some people shouldn't speak in metaphors. They're not good at it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Carlos Mencia, man bad at metaphors.
That's what stuck. But the thing that is putting you in comedy prison is the essence of the stealing. That's the real root of stealing.
I love, I've always loved Bobby Lee, and it's that right there. It's the innocence. He goes, yes, for some reason, Bobby's defensive, and he's never done anything wrong with this, but he goes, in essence, the reason you're in comedy jail, he has to break it down because we're 12 minutes into this video. Again, I'll put the full link in the description. It's from Sucka Free Media and the TIGERBELLY podcast. Check them both out. But the full context of this is we're halfway through this clip, and Carlos Mencia the entire time will not stop lying about the fact that he stole jokes. So Bobby Lee is sitting there having to explain it to him like he's 5. He's like, the reason you're in comedy jail is the stealing thing. Would you? And Bobby's his friend. Bobby's trying his hardest. He's going, would you like again? Speak into the flower on my lapel, Carlos. Would you like to say anything about the stealing, Ned? And now we get, for what my money, is the worst metaphor a man has ever defended himself with.
It's such a huge deal for me. It's like rape.
But I know, but
no.
That's step one. There's more. Stealing jokes to Carlos, that's like rape. I would like to, if there are any women watching this video who have gone through any kind of sexual assault or anything like that, I can assure you that none of us view stealing jokes in the same category as someone forcibly having sex with you violently. That is, I would say, of all the things you could have compared stealing jokes to, the only thing that could be worse is maybe the Holocaust. That's the only. Look, man, stealing jokes to me is like the Holocaust, meaning I did it to Jews. What? No, Carlos. Terrible metaphor. Go back to the rape thing. Guys, let's hear him out. How is stealing jokes, being accused of stealing jokes, like rape?
Yes.
Root of
stealing is such a huge deal for me. It's like rape.
But I know. But
no. Listen to me.
Yeah.
You need to understand this.
Yeah.
And I've never said this to anybody.
Okay.
Bobby Lee was your friend there. He was trying to stop you. And in 15 years, if you haven't said this to anybody, no reason to start now, Carlos.
To me, when you take a joke that somebody's really worked hard on to create it, because it's fucking hard to write a joke that gets an applause break.
Si, senor.
That's just fucking hard to do. That's like raping somebody.
Okay, so if you work really hard on a bit and someone steals it from you, you might as well fuck them in the ass. I'm sorry. According to Ned, a.k.a. Carlos Mencia, apparently what the sisters did to Andy Dufresne is very akin to being accused of stealing jokes. Would you be upset if I told you that's not the worst part yet? The worst part is coming, no pun intended, and I'm going to go to the chat for this one. I want the chat to tell me what the fucked up part of this is that made me stop and rewind this 8 times today. Again, this is an interview from a year ago that I was obsessed with today.
And whenever I was accused of rape, I went up to that woman and said, hey, man, somebody said I raped you last night. Is that what happened? And she said, no, you didn't rape me.
I just want to see if any of you are thinking the same thing I was thinking when I heard that. And I'll rewind it in a second. I'm going to take it off the screen for just one bit here because I got to go to the chat and I got to see what you guys are saying. First of all, there's a lot of chats coming in. Carlos says, we do not claim him as Carlos. He is Ned. All right, Ned Wholeness. Sorry. Anybody else catching the part that I caught? Okay, Crack Babies is close. Crack Babies is very close. Lab Glass says, where the fuck did that come from? Exactly. Okay, so you guys are all kind of in the same. You know what I was thinking when I heard that clip? And we'll listen back to it, and you tell me if you cut. Now that I tell you, you'll go, oh, yeah. He said, and some of you are on you're close. He said, yes, thank you, Ryobi. There it is. Every time I've been accused of rape, Carlos, how many times have you been accused of rape? You shouldn't. You know how many? Here, let's see in the chat if anyone knows the correct answer to this. How many times should the average man be accused of such a thing in his lifetime? How many times? Go ahead. Just spitball out a number. How many times should it get around? And this isn't comedy, so how many times should it get around in the... Thank you, P.A. Cheddar. 0. 0 times. The average man... and Victor says 15. Gurmy saying 6. Stuck in the middle says, I don't always get accused of rape, but when I do, it's every time. So, Carlos Mencia, I'll play it back for you, because all of you guys saying, oh my God. Some of you were saying, oh, Carlos did something. Like, Carlos did something fucked up. I want you to listen back to it again, because my whole takeaway from it was, dude, how many times, if you have like a set thing you're going to do when you get accused? Like, here. Somebody, like, if somebody accused me of such a thing, here's my immediate reaction. Holy shit, no, I didn't. I swear to God, I don't know where this is coming from. I did not do that. Oh my God, anything I can do. Hook me up to a lie detector. Take my story versus her story. Get me a lawyer. Anything you can do. I need to prove my innocence. Carlos has apparently been accused of such a thing so many times that he's got a set thing that he does. You know, every time I've been accused of rape, I go right to the girl who was apparently traumatized, and I go, hey, bitch, I didn't rape you. And I get really aggressive. What the fuck? Let's go back to that clip. And old Ned can wax poetic about how joke thievery is the same as fucking someone against their will.
Whenever I was accused of rape, I went up to that woman and said, hey, man, somebody said I raped you last night. Is that what happened? And she said, no, you didn't rape me. And what?
Why is nobody in this studio reacting to this? Why is nobody going, wait, time out. All of a sudden, Carlos, the joke thievery thing can go on the back burner. That doesn't seem as important anymore. What do you mean every time? And who is this guy just going around like strong-arming victims? Tell him I didn't do it. All right. Or I'll steal your joke.
You're asking me to do is apologize to all the women I've raped. I want to, but can
Whoa. Somebody get this motherfucker a publicist. I don't even like him, and I want this to stop. How did I not see this a year ago, by the way? How did I miss this interview? I always catch this kind of shit. How did I miss this? What you're asking me to do is apologize to all the girls I've raped. Abandon the analogy, Carlos. It's not, nobody cares about the joke stealing thing anymore. Now they want to know about the Me Too hiding under your pillow.
Meet these, can I say I'm sorry to them in person?
I think that
no, they're traumatized.
way to do that.
Look, what I'm saying though is that we live in an age now.
Okay, so that's the end of that analogy. That's the clip I wanted to play for you from that interview. But holy shit. Again, how did I miss that from last year? Brian says rape equals joke theft. Apparently. I don't know. P.A. Cheddar says, I would have figured that Bobby would have said, how many times have you been accused? Right, that's why I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm rewinding it 5 times. I'm like, are either of you going to mention the fact that he just went with that metaphor and then said, all the times I've been accused? Yeah. Curly Adams says, oh, so he also stole Bill Cosby's bedroom hobbies. You motherfucker. Oh, you know what that deserves? Hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, and click the bell to get notifications. So not only did he steal Cosby's jokes, but he stole his leisure activities. Labglass says, if I was in that studio, I'd be speechless. Not me. I wouldn't be speechless. I'd have plenty of questions. Number one, what did you do to them kids? I need to know. And by the way, if he's sitting there making the comparison, like, hey, accusing me of stealing jokes is like accusing me of raping somebody. Carlos, terrible analogy. If they have as much evidence for that they have of you stealing jokes, you're going to fucking prison, bro. I'm sorry. German prison, Honduran prison, wherever the fuck you're from. American prison. Are you Ned Holness or Carlos Smith? Who's going to jail, Ned or Carlos? Oh, my God. They brought that motherfucker back 15 years later when nobody will have him, gave him a chance to make it all good, and he made a proper asshole of himself. And I missed it. Ice says he would rather be called a rapist than a joke thief. Can I try to defend him in a weird way? Here's how I'll try to defend him. I don't think he knew what the fuck he was talking about. There, does that help a little bit? I don't think he knew what he was babbling about at that point. Fair? Okay.